Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Fashion Student Diaries. I'm so excited to bring this podcast to you all and to share with you the true experiences of different fashion students. To kick off the first ever episode, we are joined by Louise O'Loughlin, a creative direction for fashion student at London College of Fashion, who is also the designer and creator of her own brand, Lulu Luna, as well as the editor-in-chief and founder of beauty, fashion and wellness publication, the Urban Cowgirl. So, hi Lou, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No worries at all. Really excited to have you on the first ever episode.
Yeah, same. I'm really excited for this.
So our first question is, what have you been up to in the past week within the world of fashion?
Not too much, just like uni work, a lot of that, because obviously it's the end of the year now, so we all love that.
Deadline season.
Yes, it's the worst, honestly. Like, I'm just going to be so glad when it's over.
Me too.
A lot of that. I just
Nice.
got a new job, so just like a little part-time job, just a little something, because it's
Oh,
always good to
nice.
have.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
it's just like a little side job at Pull and Bear in retail, just for like some extra money, and like if like COVID goes crazy again, it's nice to like, even if I get put on furlough.
Yeah. And with your brands, have you done anything this week?
Yeah, so I'm working on a new collection coming out in a few weeks. I'm really excited for this one because it's going to be a good one. So I've got a shoot planned for next Sunday. So there's been a lot of work on that. It's all go, go, go.
Very exciting. And so you're on creative direction for fashion at London College of Fashion. So tell us about that. What does that entail? Because many people, I mean, including myself, would have probably never have heard of that.
It's a really good course, and honestly, every time someone asks, I'm like, how do I explain this? And honestly, I'm not even sure if I explain it 100% right. I feel like every time I say, people are like, is that right? But everyone thinks it's to do with like sewing and making outfits. I have to explain this to my family members all the time. I'm like, no, sewing machine, guys. But it's just like the more digital media side of a brand. So like campaigns, Instagram accounts, they organize shoots, the whole collection, just kind of more the visual side to a brand. So it's a really good course. You'll
Yeah.
like it.
Cool. I mean, I didn't know anything about it, and then I heard about it when I came to uni, and I was like, oh, that probably would have been better for me. Like, I really wish I'd done it now. Like, obviously, doing fashion journalism, you get like parts of that, and like you do the writing and you make videos and stuff. But I always want to know more about like the branding and the marketing and stuff like that. So sometimes I really wish I'd done that course, but I had no idea about it. So it's nice for you to tell us.
Yeah, I want to do your course, to be honest.
Let's swap. It's too late.
Yeah.
So why did you choose this course then?
Basically, I've always liked like designing things, but when I say not like actually designing, but let's say my YouTube channel, I've had that for like years.
Yeah.
So I like came up with the idea of like the kind of content I wanted to create, the kind of outlook of it. So I think it kind of all started from there. It sounds really weird to say that now, but I think that's probably where it started, was my little Lose Life 16 YouTube channel when I was like 16 or something.
Yeah.
So like ever since then, I just like creating like a certain look of something. And
hmm
it's funny because I went to my interview for creative direction,
hmm
and they actually put me on a different one, like what was it? Some kind of like sewing course, I
Oh,
think. And I remember my interview, and they were like, so why do you want to do this course? And I was like, having to make up this story about this other course because they put me on it. But then I got into creative direction without an interview for it. It's really bizarre, like how it
wow,
happened.
that's so crazy. I mean, it's nice to
Yeah.
know that you can kind of do that. So what, did you
Yeah.
apply for sewing then or something? Like, how did that happen? What happened?
No, so I applied for creative direction, but I think because the numbers were so high and the numbers are probably lower on the other course,
Yeah,
they were trying to get me to go on that course.
I
And
see.
I was like, I know it's not the course I want, but it's an
Yeah.
interview. So maybe then they like looked at my stuff and they're like, oh, your stuff's more for like creative direction. I'm like, well, no shit, Sherlock. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
telling
want to
me.
be. Yeah,
Okay.
literally.
And so like, do you think you've learned a lot from the course then? Like, what do you learn on the course? Like, what have you actually sort of got from it then?
I'd say quite a lot, but it's kind of hard to think about it now because I haven't been in uni for like so long because
Yeah.
obviously pandemic and everything. But we have some really good people come in. We had people from Burberry come in.
hmm
Um, I can't think of anyone else now. But honestly, like the tutors are so good at getting people in. So you definitely do learn a lot. And I always say this to people who are like, would you say it's like worth the money going to London?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought when I went there that they might kind of use the name
Mm-hmm.
and then not necessarily get the best education out of it. That was always a worry. But I've got
Uh-huh.
to say, like, you do get a lot out of it. And they do offer you as much as they can.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so tell us about what the best and worst parts of the course have been then.
Um,
And be
oh.
honest, because we want to know all the bad stuff too.
All the juicy stuff. Gosh, honestly, group work. I remember when in my first year, we had like the first group session,
Yeah.
and how nerve-wracking that was. I'm sure you
Mm-hmm.
had it as well.
Yeah.
And everyone was like really just nervous and was being quite nice. And then these two people in my group were just proper sly and was like, well, I don't see if that makes any sense. And I was like, I've just been really nice about your project. So then ever since then, I was like, hate group projects.
I feel
Honestly.
you. I hate group projects, but it's really hard because like within fashion, you're always working in a team. Like there's always going to be people you're working with, and it's like it's hard to ever really do anything on your own. So I get it. I get the group project thing, but yeah, in uni it's not that fun because it's so competitive at fashion uni.
I know it's horrible, but at the same time, it kind of like builds you up to be a stronger individual and not take any shit from anyone.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so Lulu Luna, your brand, how was that born? Talk to us about that.
So basically, a few years ago, I've always thought about wanting, I mean, ever since I was like super young, I've always been like, oh, I want to be a fashion designer one day. And like, I think every little girl says that from a young age and
Yeah.
it's just like stuck. And then a few years ago, I really got into like eco fashion, but I
Hmm.
always felt there was like a place missing where like all eco fashion was just kind of like boring and
Hmm.
expensive, very like not very appealing to many people. So I
Hmm.
decided I wanted to try and like make a brand that was as eco-aware as possible, but
Hmm.
also like an everyday uniform for people with like timeless pieces they could keep forever.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so where did you get the inspiration for it? Like where did this idea even come from?
It's gonna sound so weird, but like when I was younger, you're like, oh gosh, where's this going? So when I was younger, I was in the airport and I remember this girl and she was
Mhm.
like in the coolest outfit ever. I was pretty like 6 at the time, so I don't know how the hell I remember this. And she was in, like this really chic outfit and like a rucksack and like I swear I have one of the tops in the collection that she was wearing. And it's like the like V-neck like laid back top that's like maroon and this probably isn't making any sense. But you know what I mean? Like the effortless, laid back
Yeah.
kind of style. So I don't know why. I just like think of that person in the airport and I'm like, okay, I want to have a brand that's effortlessly chic.
And so how long, so you made it when you were in uni, is that right?
Yeah.
And how long
Yeah.
into uni were you before you started this brand?
Okay, so it was like the end of the first year I started planning it.
Hmm.
Um, and then I was like getting some samples. Yeah, in the end of the first year, I was getting samples. But it was more the second year where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna like do a shoot and everything for it.
Yeah. I mean, how did you have the confidence to do that? Like when I was in first year, I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I was like, I don't know how to like get myself out there. Like, how did you even have the confidence for this?
Honestly, I don't even know how, but there were times when I was just like, oh gosh, I don't know, this is a good idea. Like, there's definitely people being like, what are you doing? Like, why are you not waiting till after uni?
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's something that you know that you really want to do and you can like feel it like in your heart that you really want to do it, you might as well go for it. And I
Yeah.
thought, like, what a better time to do it when I'm not like stuck in a full-time job. I've
Hmm.
got a little bit of extra money from like student loan that I can kind of throw in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I just had like a little bit of extra time on my hands. So I just made sure that I didn't let it like overtake uni work or anything. Just
Yeah.
finding that balance.
And so, what's the biggest thing then that's happened with the brand since you started it? Have there been any really big moments with that?
Um, yes. So when I first launched, I had like 7,000 people go to the site. I like shared it on
Crazy.
Instagram, and I did not expect that. I like went on the what's it called? Like the analytics.
Yeah.
I was like, is there a glitch? What's going on here? I literally was just like, oh my God. So
So
that was
that's like
quite
the
good.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
And so how did you like advertise it? Like, was it just through Instagram? Like, what was your technique of like getting it out there so that that many people went on the site kind of thing?
I would honestly say like Facebook ads and Instagram ads. I did
Yeah.
not think they worked that well.
Hmm.
And I definitely did some research into it. So apparently Facebook and Instagram ads are like a really, really good way.
Hmm.
So that's what I did. And I think that's why it got so many people going to the site. But honestly, I think like doing reels and IGTV videos is a good way as well because it kind of makes the brand more alive and it's not just like a brand with clothes. Like I like getting involved with it a lot with like videos and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You're like the duet of everything within the brand.
yes, I think everyone's everything on it.
Is there anyone else on the team? Like, is it just you or do you do it like with anyone else? Like, is there anyone else that helps you?
Just me, just a single gal on her own doing it.
Wow, that is crazy. That is mad. And
True.
so, do you make like, I mean, do you make good money from it, would you say?
I mean, it's like just like a small business at the moment, so it's
Uh-huh.
obviously like nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So it's a small amount at the moment, but it's something. It's a little bit of something.
Yeah. I mean,
So
have you had many sales?
yeah, so I did have quite a few when I first launched, when I
Uh-huh.
had all those people go to the site. So I had
Yeah.
quite a lot then. But I'm really looking forward to the next collection because like I learned like little bits from the past collections on like the do's and the don'ts. And like
Yeah.
I think this next collection should do quite well, hopefully. Fingers
Um,
crossed.
what are those do's and don'ts like? I'm intrigued.
Oh, just like make sure not to rush things, I would say, because there are times and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to like tell everyone about this. And then I just like
Hmm.
post about it. And especially with when COVID was going on, there was a lot of
Yeah.
like uncertainty with like when I'd be able to launch. And
Yeah.
before that, we got like really excited and was like, okay, new collection coming out here. And then obviously everything got pushed back.
Uh-huh.
So like now I'm like learning, okay, don't tell like the launch date until you're like 100% certain.
Yeah. Like plan your
Like, about
time wisely.
100%. Yeah, and just like don't rush it because I get so excited about things and I just get too excited and I rush it. So
That's exactly what I'm like. I'm like, yeah, let's just say it now. Like, it's fine.
yeah, literally.
But and so like what do you want to like continue this into the future? Like, do you want this to be your career or are you going to look for other things to do once you graduate? Like, what's your plan for once you graduate?
Honestly, I'm kind of winging it at the moment. I obviously, like a few people have asked me this, and I'm like, okay, so my plan is to obviously work as hard as possible on Lulu Luna
Yeah.
and like really hope for the best of it. And like, I've kind of given myself this year to like put my all into it.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like why I'm like working a little job on the side so I can put more money into it and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's one option is to, well, I want to try and do that. And then with my degree, hopefully, if it didn't like lift off straight away,
Hmm.
then I've got a good degree at the end of it with uni. So I can always apply for jobs and like work in fashion still and
Yeah.
obviously work with Luna on the side. So I'm
Yeah.
just making sure I've got options really.
Yeah. So what would the dream job be if like obviously doing your own brand as well, but what would the dream job be for you then?
Probably just like working on my brand,
Yeah. Okay.
100%. Yeah, I'm definitely someone who likes working for themselves.
Hmm. And so what is next for Lulu Luna then? Like what is like the big, I don't know, 5-year plan for Lulu Luna?
Ooh. It's hard to say, isn't it? I mean, I definitely want to make sure that there's more pieces in the brand that are more like eco-aware,
Hmm.
um, that more people want to wear like every day.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 years time, we could be really ambitious and be like, I want a store.
Yeah.
Um, but baby steps. I don't know really. I'd really like to do like a pop-up store definitely in the next like 2 years.
Yeah,
Try and
that'd
get
be
it out
cool.
there.
And with your like next collection that's coming up, is there anything you can share on it, or you want to keep it all secret
Ooh,
now?
yeah, I'll tell you that it's definitely going to be the best one. I know I said that with the last one, but no, this one's going to be good.
Uh-huh.
But it's definitely like close to my heart because I really like. I'm going to say it Western style. So
Yeah,
there's a little hint of the body.
nice.
Some really good quality pieces.
Very excited to see it. Very excited.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about the Urban Cowgirl. Like, where did this idea come from? Like, why did you do it when you're already doing uni and Lulu Luna? Like, why the Urban Cowgirl as well?
God knows why did I decide to do that. So basically, I used to have like a blog like years ago called That Girl.
Yeah.
And then I decided to change that to a website because
Mm-hmm.
that was like the beginning of uni, so 2 years ago. And then I was kind of like, okay, this is quite old now and I want to update it, but I do want to keep it. So I revamped the whole thing last year and called it the Urban Cowgirl, like changed the logo and everything. So it's basically just like an online magazine where there was a website where we used to like write pieces and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But then recently we took it down. So it's just the Instagram page. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do like small posts on there because I feel like you get more traffic on Instagram anyway nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's okay. I'm just trying to like balance everything out. So it
Yeah.
will work.
Why did you do it? Like, why did you want to do it?
Honestly, I did an internship at Sheerlux. Do you know Sheerlux?
No.
It's like an online magazine. It's in London.
Oh, okay.
And write about like fashion and like fitness and lifestyle, beauty and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm really into this. And I was kind of doing like little bits of that on my own website.
Yeah.
But like that kind of got me a bit more sparked about it. I think I was just like lacking inspiration
Yeah.
for a while. So when I did that internship, I was like, okay, I've got it. I've like found a niche for it.
Yeah.
So just a lot of fashion posts and wellness posts. Honestly, wellness was like a big part on it, and
Yeah.
it never used to be. So
And so what is your hopes for sort of that then? Like, what do you want to carry it on? Like, what do you want to like bring with the Urban Cowgirl?
yeah, so I would really like to have like merchy stuff for it
Mm-hmm.
at some point. That's an idea at the moment. And just to have like content on the Instagram page like 3 times a week and
Yeah.
just have it more frequent.
Okay, cool. And what's your favorite thing about doing the Urban Cowgirl, would you
Honestly, like meeting people through it.
say? Mm-hmm.
It's like a really good way of networking. Like I've
Yeah.
met so many small businesses, and like so many of them are like my little friends on Instagram now.
Yeah, that's so true. Instagram is such a good way to like
Really.
connect people and stuff like that. Like I literally, even now doing my final project, like it's just everything. I feel like everything just goes through social media these days. Like you can't
Yes.
do anything in fashion without social media. So you need
Oh,
to
I
be
know
clued up on
everything.
it.
So true.
And so how do you balance it all with uni as well? Like all of everything you're doing?
Honestly, it's been a struggle sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There are times when I'm like, okay, I've got this, and I balance it like really well. But if
Yeah.
I don't like organize for like the next week coming, then
Mm-hmm.
it's just all over the place. So it's definitely just organization, and I seem to lack that as well. I'm the worst at organization, so I don't know why I thought that was a good idea to balance two things.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, this seems hard. I just want to throw myself into it,
Yeah.
and I'll just learn how to do it. So organization is definitely a key for it. I
Yeah.
honestly think about getting one of those apps that you can like plan out posts
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely should get one of them, I think.
Me too, honestly. I feel like
We
it'd
all
be
need
really
it.
beneficial.
Yes.
And so the last thing then we want to find out really is what advice would you give to someone about to start your course at uni or to just even just go into fashion and like wants to make a brand and they don't know like anything like what advice would you give to someone wanting to go into fashion?
I would say don't stress what other people think
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna have people in uni who are gonna judge you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna have people who are gonna be like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Just stay on track and just focus on uni 100%. And like I agree, do focus on uni 100%. But if you wanted to do something on the side and you
Yeah.
think you can do both, then give it a go. Trust your instinct.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say do internships. I really regret not doing as many
Yeah.
because obviously with COVID happening, that was the year that we were supposed to do them. So I only got one in. So
Yeah.
I was really sad about that. But they really help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think of anything else really. Just you do you kind of thing. because everyone's different. Everyone's going to have an opinion. So don't let anyone stop if you want to do something.
100%. I agree. Like, I think that is one thing I definitely, like, I think I went into fashion thinking there's such a pressure to like have ideas all the time and have like do something amazing, and I didn't. And of course I had ideas occasionally, but I thought, oh, it's just a little idea, like there's no point, like let's not do it, let's not focus on it. But that is one thing I regret too. Like I just wish like I don't know, like just did more of what I wanted to do rather than focusing on uni and focusing on, like, I thought when I started uni, okay, I need to get a part-time job because I need to have money. Like uni and part-time job, I never focused enough on like actually getting myself out there for when I graduate and like doing internships and like starting something early. And now I wish I'd definitely done that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel it's hard because everyone's like, I have a lot of people in my class who do so many internships and working like so many jobs, and then it makes you think, it's like, oh my god, should I be doing this many? I remember a girl in my class in the first year, she did like 10 internships, and I was like, I haven't even done one.
It's crazy. But yeah, I think just like, with fashion, I think it's like, don't put that pressure on yourself, because it is a competitive industry, and you know, you do have to work hard for it if you want to make it, but also don't put the pressure on yourself to like feel like you need to be doing what everyone else is doing, kind of thing.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and for talking to us about what's been going on in your life and everything you've been doing.
Thank you for having me. This has been really fun.
Thank you all so much for joining me on the very first episode of the Fashion Student Diaries. Next week we will be joined by Ollie Simpson, a fashion, textiles and print student at London College of Fashion and the designer and founder of PBY OJS. Before you go, please do subscribe and like the podcast, and for more tips and stories from fashion students, make sure you check out our socials or www.thefashionstudent.co.uk. See you next time.